Chapter 10. Remembering more by remembering less. It may seem like a paradox, but one way to remember more is to remember less. In other words, you can set up systems to help you remember a lot of less important details, so that you can better focus on what's more important to you. Moreover, you can use these systems to help remind you of things that are important to remember now. You may be familiar with at least some of these systems, such as the age-old advice to put a string around your finger to remind you to do something, though this doesn't work very well if you see the string and don't remember what it's for. Other commonly used systems include creating files for storing important information in one place, setting up tickler files, which provide a reminder to do something on a particular day or date, keeping daily and weekly calendars, placing post-its on a bulletin board or the refrigerator, or creating a shopping list or to-do list. The reason for creating these systems is that we are so bombarded with information, you can't remember everything, and don't even want to. These systems enable you to move information off your desk into a folder, up on a bulletin board, or onto a list, so you reduce the litter. Then, as needed, you can locate that information. You don't need to keep it in the forefront of your memory now, and therefore you can clear out some space for what is more important. Following are a variety of reminder and retrieval systems you can set up. Use the ones that are most suitable for you. Creating a passwords file. Today, everyone has passwords for everything, from email to bank accounts to online subscriptions to payment accounts. And many services advise you to change your password from time to time, so you are better protected. Some people use the same or a limited number of passwords for everything, and if they change them, they apply these changes to everything with the same password. But this approach doesn't always work, since some companies have different formats for passwords and some may assign you a password when you sign up. Then there are the really long numbers for registration codes that are all but impossible to remember. A good way to deal with all these passwords is to keep a file handy where you put your passwords, and just in case, keep a copy of this file in another safe place. While you may remember some of the commonly used passwords you use every day, the file is an ideal place to store the passwords you rarely use, or the really long ones that can fry your brain if you struggle to encode them. When you create such a file, you might print out a page for each company and password you need to remember. Then for easy retrieval, store them by type of company, i.e., banks, writers, websites, and alphabetically. Or alternatively, you can create a Word or Excel document with this list, though the extra time to do this may not be necessary. Later, when you are asked for a password and don't remember it, just pull out your file. Creating a file for lock combinations. If you have combinations for locks or lockboxes, write these down, too. However, for security purposes, it might be better to keep these files separately from your passwords. When you use these combinations each day, you may be able to readily remember them. But after a while, if you don't use them, the combination will usually fade away. As with passwords, it's a good idea to keep this information in two places, a file where you put all your combinations and a copy in another safe place. Also, be sure to carefully note which combination goes to what, particularly when you have several locks or lockboxes with different combinations. For example, you might distinguish them by the place where you have put that particular lock or box, such as rear door lock, R3, L20, R7, side door lock, L4, R8, L23. Using a keyword reminder. Aside from creating a password or combination file to remind you what these are, you might also create a keyword to remind you what password or combination you have used. Even website services that require a password to enter use this principle. For instance, if you use your dog's name with a set of numbers for one password, your keyword might be dog. If you use your mother's last name and other numbers for another password, your keyword might be mom. Such a reminder might be ideal when you are in a situation where you aren't able to refer to your file or don't want to, such as when you are working in a public place and don't want to take the chance that someone might take this extremely confidential file. This approach is particularly ideal if you have a single password or combination that you use for one type of activity and another password or combination for another activity. This keyword can then tell you which password or combination you used. Creating a tickler file. A good way to remember particular events or activities that you have to do at a certain time is to create a tickler file, either a physical one or one set up on your computer, such as in Microsoft Outlook or another calendar program. The purpose of such a file is to organize a calendar of the tasks you have to do or the events you plan to attend on a particular date, so you will do those tasks or participate in that activity. If this file is on your computer or laptop, keep a backup copy someplace, so if your computer crashes, you will have another copy. Or keep a hard copy version as your backup. In some cases, it will work well to have a master calendar, where you enter everything for the day and time when you expect to do it. But sometimes it is helpful to organize similar activities together, such as having a tickler file for your appointments and activities at work during the day, and another for the activities in your personal life. Just be sure that you don't have an overlap of hours if you keep separate files, or you may find you are scheduling more than one activity for the same time. For example, Jim, a private investigator I know, used the calendar approach when he created a file system for his cases, placing them according to the date when he had to take some action on the case. In addition, he separates these into different types of cases, so he can perform similar actions on a set of cases. Then, after he performs a particular action, he indicates what he did according to a cover sheet with rows for each date and action. Next, he moves that file ahead to a folder with the date in the future when he next has to take some action on the case. Lawyers, counselors, and others dealing with clients use a similar type of system to remind them when it's time to act on a case. Still another approach is to use an undated filing system but group files by the particular activity to be performed. For instance, that's what I do for one of the email connection businesses I've set up, publishersandagents.net, which links writers with publishers. I identified a series of tasks that have to be done in a set sequence, from getting the initial order to finalizing the query letter, sending it out, and getting a testimonial about the great service from the client. So I have a large folder for each step in the process and I keep these folders in the order in which I perform each step. Then, each day, I go through the files, take the appropriate action, make a copy of the action I have taken, staple that to the top of the file for each client, and move the whole file into the next step in the sequence. Since I put the latest action on the top of the client's file and staple everything together, I don't need a separate checklist to keep track of the step where each client is in the process. It's all readily apparent by just looking at the last action taken for that client. I file all of each client's correspondence, which is assigned an order number and is stapled together with most recent communication on top, in the folder for that step. For example, I have a folder for writing the letter, another for reviewing and editing a client's letter, and another for having the letter ready to go and awaiting the client's final approval. Then, I pick out the material to be worked on from that folder, and after it's done, the client's material goes in the next folder in the sequence, with the latest material stapled on top. Finally, when the order has been completed, it goes into a file of completed orders. Once a client writes in to say "great job," the material goes into the file to request permission to use their testimonials, and once I have their permission, I add their testimonial to the website. I use this system to keep track of orders, since I know I could easily forget where I am in the process if I didn't have this step-by-step system telling me what I need to do for each client. The filing system provides a kind of flow chart of the series of tasks to be done, while the order numbers and clipped together correspondence for each client indicates exactly what should be done next. If you set up the system on your computer, you can set it to alert you within a certain number of days of the task, as well as establish a date for when you'd like to complete the task and when you have to complete it. Using a daily calendar. Keeping a daily calendar is another way to stay on top of things. You may prefer to keep the daily calendar in a book, usually in a loose leaf format, so you can select a few months of events to take along with you. Other formats include pages held together on a pad with a large ring or an online calendar, such as the one offered by Microsoft Outlook. If you do go the online route, it's good to print out a copy of the calendar whenever you add something to the calendar, or at least once a day if you make multiple entries in a single day, just in case you have a computer crash or have trouble accessing your computer during the day. You might also include backing up your calendar with your regular computer backup, which you should do every day or so for everything on your computer. It's best to get a calendar with an hour-by-hour format for the workday listed on each page, along with a facing page where you can write down additional notes about each task, such as a contact number to call, an address of where to go, or items you need to purchase for that task. Then, take that calendar or the pages from it that you need with you, so you can readily refer to it. It is also helpful to assign a particular place where you keep this when it isn't with you, so you can more easily find it to refer to it and add entries. Putting things in their place. So you don't have to remember where you put something, establish a place where you always put it, or one or two alternate spots if you can't use just one spot, such as when you have a date book you might look at either upstairs or downstairs. This way, if you remind yourself to always put that item in the proper place, you will never have to search around for it. Many people use this approach to help them find their keys. Some people use a hook on a wall where they always hang their keys. Another good place is in a small bowl by your front door, which is the approach I use. Having a designated place for things is a good technique for anything that might be mobile, such as a wireless phone or iPod. Otherwise, you might frantically start looking for it the next time you go to use it. But if you develop the habit of consciously putting the item in its designated place, it will be there when you next want it. Placing reminders along the way. Another technique to remind yourself to do something is to use a physical reminder and put it somewhere you usually pass in order to trigger your memory. For example, say you have to return a book to the library. Put the book in full view on a shelf or cabinet you pass on the way to your car, so you will pick up the book as you go out the door. If you have to do some task in the house, like take out the garbage at night for an early morning pickup, post a note or sign on the door to the garage where you keep the trash cans telling you to take out the garbage, or create a sign with a garbage can that says something like, "Take me out Tuesday night." Putting out what you need the night before. One of the worst times to try to remember what you need for the day is just before you have to leave and are in a rush. You can much better remember if you prepare what you need when you are more relaxed and less under pressure. Thus, rather than trying to fight the clock and feeling stressed as you throw together what you want, locate what you expect to take with you the previous evening and put it out where you just have to pick it up as you leave. Then, to be sure you have taken everything you want, review what you have picked up to make sure you do have everything, and usually you will if you've used checklists or other memory aids. In short, do a quick double check to give you that feeling of reassurance that you do have everything. If not, get what you need. Creating a to-do list or checklist. If you have more than 2 or 3 tasks to do, create a list or checklist of things to do, and if you have a series of tasks for different projects, create a separate list for each project. If the items are all to be completed at the same time, a single column list is fine. Additionally, if the items need to be completed over a period of time, prioritize your list. So you list first the tasks to be done first, or clearly indicate next to each item their order of priority, say with a letter from A to E or a number from 1 to 5. You might prefer colored dots, such as blue for highest priority, red for next highest priority, and so on. Should there be due dates or expected dates of completion, add a column so you can record them. Finally, show that you have completed the item with a check mark or write in a date of completion. In the event that other people are going to participate in this task with you or do it for you, add in a column for that information, too, along with any specific details you need to check with them before the task to make sure they are going to be doing what you expect them to do. This way you have your own reminder to remind them. Keeping track of cards you collect. Have you ever collected cards at a social or business mixer, and when you look at them later that night or a few days later, you don't remember who someone was or why you picked up the card? It's a common experience, because at mixes you can meet more people if you quickly collect a card, give someone your own, and then move on. However, once you and the cards are in a different context, you don't have the help of context cues to remind you who that person was and why you wanted to contact him or her again. So it's important to either put a note on the card as a reminder, be sure to have a pen with you so you can do this, or set up a system to place cards in the appropriate category for follow-up. If you use a note, you can place this on the card as you talk or add your note immediately after your conversation, while the information is fresh in your mind. And you don't have some retroactive interference from the next person you meet and exchange cards with. Include in your note the date you got the card, what the person does if not clear from the card, and what you should do to follow up and when. For example, a note might be something like, July 26, 06 architect, interested in Healthline. Or if you have developed a code system, you can shorten this entry, i.e., 7/26, Arch, Health. By keeping your note short, it will take just seconds to add to the card, so there will be minimal interference with your note-taking, and you'll have the information you need at your fingertips for follow-up later. Alternatively, obtain or create some kind of small filing folder you can carry with you for cards. For example, you might use a mini card holder with sections or pockets for different categories of information, then pop the card you have just collected into the appropriate category. Later, pull the cards out of that section or pocket as you follow up, or add the note you might have used at the mixer at your leisure. Using a reminder service. Another way to set up a reminder system is to let someone else do it for you. In fact, this has become a popular way of remembering all sorts of things, as reflected by the fact that there are over 5 million listings if you put reminder services into Google. These services range from web-based services that will send you an email reminder to software you install on your computer that will trigger the reminder to a local reminder phone call service. For example, one service, Memo2Me, www.memotome.com, which calls itself the internet's #1 reminder service, sends reminders both at home and at work. Personal reminders might be used to remind yourself about your anniversary, grandma's birthday, an upcoming soccer game, or just to take out the trash. Work reminders might be to remind you about a meeting with a client, a weekly status meeting with reminders sent to your coworkers, a reminder to salespeople about their monthly sales projections, and reminders about deadlines. If you're away from your computer, you can set up reminders to go to your pager or mobile phone. You can even use the service to check your email for new messages for you and send the messages to your pager or mobile phone, so you don't have to remember to check yourself. Arranging for reminders from other people. A less high-tech version of having a service contact you with reminders is to arrange for friends, family, or co-workers to remind you of something. Certainly, you don't want to overwhelm them with a huge number of things to remember for you. But from time to time, especially for special circumstances, you might have someone you trust become your memory assistant. For example, if you are going to be out of town, you might arrange for an assistant, referral service, or a close friend or family member to call you with a reminder of things you need to do from afar. If so, give the person your daily checklist to use to give you reminders. Setting up an alarm. If there's something you have to do at a certain time of the day, you can set an alarm to go off to remind you, though the type of alarm will vary depending on where you are. For instance, if you are at home, you can use an alarm clock in your bedroom or office. If you are traveling, you can use a travel alarm. Other possibilities include watches, cell phones, and Palm Pilots, which can be programmed to beep or ring or vibrate at whatever times you specify. Even a computer software program, such as Microsoft Outlook, can be programmed to send you a signal when it's the day and time to do something. Then, once you are alerted that it's time to do something, use any other reminder tips to help you complete the task. Putting Up a reminder bulletin board. A reminder bulletin board is a good way to remind yourself about high-priority items both in the office and at home. One type of bulletin board comes with a corkboard, so you can use pins to post up your notes. Other possibilities include plain wood or cardboard boards where you use post-it notes as reminders or use an erasable whiteboard to write down the reminders for the day. Once the tasks are done, you can remove the notes or erase them and post or write in the next reminders. When you use such a board, you can make items stand out or code them by the type of task using colored post-its or pens. Or even use decorative notes and cartoons to make the board look more festive, as long as you can still clearly see the reminders. And be sure to refer to the reminder board each day or even every few hours to remind you what to do that day or in the next few hours. Carrying a notebook or notepad with you. What if you get inspired about some kind of creative project or task to do? You could easily forget if you just make a mental note of your thoughts. Or you may find that it is inconvenient to try to encode the idea into long-term memory, since you want to think about something else at the time. An example might be if you get an idea while you are driving on the freeway, and need to think about where you are going and where to turn off. One answer is to have a small notebook or notepad with you, so you can jot down your idea. Or use a tape recorder and just say your thoughts aloud. If you are driving, one possibility for recording your idea is to pull to the side of the road for a moment and write down your ideas in a small notebook. Or if you have a recorder with an omnidirectional mic, you can speak your thoughts or a few reminder keywords into it, as long as you can do this safely, while you drive. Suppose you are doing some errands, shopping, or taking a hike. You can stop wherever you are and pull your notebook or notepad out of your briefcase, pocketbook, backpack, or other carry-on and write a few notes. Or find someplace quiet where you can do this, like a chair or restroom in a department store. Later, you can look at your notes and expand upon them if you wish, using this reminder to help you think more carefully about this idea. Doing something in advance so you don't have to remember to do it later. Pre-planning can sometimes be the way to go so you don't have to think about doing something while you are doing something else. That's exactly what a woman who is a professional organizer did at a 7 a.m. breakfast meeting I attended. The parking meters operated from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on weekdays at the meters outside the meeting place. Most of the people meeting planned to go outside to pay for 1 hour just before 8 a.m. But the organizer paid for 2.5 hours as she went in the door at 6:45, a cost of about $2 more. Why? Because, she told me, then she wouldn't have to think about remembering to pay during the meeting. This way, she could better concentrate on the meeting. Similarly, if you have a task to do that may disrupt what you are going to be doing later, if it's feasible, take care of that task in advance so you don't have to remind yourself to do it. It's one less thing to think about remembering to do if you've already done it. Creating an appointments scheduler and results form. Besides using a regular calendar, for special occasions create an appointment scheduler for each day, along with an appointment results or presentation form in which you can record what happened at each appointment. For example, I created a loose leaf binder to do this when I set up appointments to meet with company owners and R&D directors at a toy fair and games manufacturing show. I set the appointment scheduler up with columns for the time, company, contact, location of my meeting, and any comments, and my appointment results form included the date presented, complete company information, the name of the people I met with, what I presented, and the results. Creating a follow-up matrix. Another helpful reminder system is a follow-up matrix, which indicates what to do to follow up on your meetings. The matrix should include the name of the company, your contact there, the interests of the company or what type of action they want you to take, what you did and the date you did it, the results of your action, and email or phone contact information for easy follow-up. For more detail, you can refer back to your appointment results or presentation form. For example, My follow-up matrix for the presentations I made using information from the above forms looked like this, though I set it up in a landscape format using post-its or cards with reminders. Still another reminder system is using post-its or index cards on which you write down the task or activity you are planning to do, then insert the post-it or card into a folder by the day when you plan to act on it. Consider this a kind of tickler file using post-its or cards. You might also use color-coded post-its or cards to indicate different types of tasks, and perhaps add a colored dot or a number on each post-it card to indicate the priority of what activity to do when. This priority could take into consideration both the importance and the deadline for completing the task. Then use this priority coding to indicate those tasks that are more important or must be completed sooner. Creating your own system. Consider the above reminder systems as a repertoire of approaches you can use to create reminders and place information in these systems, so you don't have to remember the details yourself. Or create your own personalized reminder system for containing your information. Reviewing your reminders. Once you set up a reminder system, it is critical to review this setup from time to time, because otherwise you will be likely to forget what you are seeking to remind yourself about. It's not that you have an arcane coding system, but if you don't review it from time to time, you may forget what different codes refer to, such as when you are using different letters of the alphabet to refer to different steps to take. Take some time each day, say 10 to 15 minutes in the beginning or end of the day, to prepare yourself for the following day, to remind yourself what you are going to be doing. You can also use this time to change anything around, such as determining that you need to reschedule an appointment because you have gotten too busy to make that meeting, and then you can send the person an email to reschedule, leave a phone message, or call to speak to the person as convenient. In short, don't only create a series of reminders, but regularly remind yourself about your reminders, too. Then, with your reminder system in place, you can forget about the details until you have reminded yourself that you need to do so. The result, you have more of the mundane day-to-day details in these reminders, so you can free up your mind to focus on other activities that are more important to you. In other words, you will have to remember less, so you are better able to remember more.